Hey guys, Switchley here for this Brawlhalla Legend review. Ninja is currently out of town since it is the week of Thanksgiving, and the Legend came out today and he was on the road, so he asked me if I could take a look at this character for him. So this time it is Xull, the Lord Commander of the Iron Legion, and he is a Cannon and Axe Legend who has a 9 stat, which is 9 strength. We have two Iron Legion skins right now. We have Iron Legion Taros and Iron Legion Mordex, so I think that's sort of interesting. We get some backstory to how the Iron Legion was formed. He's also the second canon legend after Sidra, who was released the last character release, and he's an Axe Legend with a 9 stat, which is 9 strength. So hopefully they use that 9 strength in a good way, and it is balanced, but if they have to, they'll just release a patch next week for the character that will balance it out. So, here are the skins that are connected. We have the Iron Legion Mordex, and we have the Iron Legion Taros over here, which is sort of interesting. We get some insight to how these skins came about. I haven't really heard much about the Iron Legion, except for those skins. So now we get to see it in a lore. We have a 9454 character. He is Cannon Axe, and here are brief previews of his skins. His lore goes as follows: the Iron Commander. Orcs can live up to 300 years due to lifestyle choices. Few survive past about 8. Ogadai the Chronicler. I'm assuming that's an orc name. Lift Cannon's Charge. Xull to the Iron Legion's Artillery Corps Battle of Orc Pass. As the story goes, Xull seized command of the Iron Legion from the Troll Titan with a brutal downstroke. His first order was to create a cannon brigade. His second order was that cowardly long-range combat would not be tolerated. As warlord of the mercenary army, he was savage, vengeful, and extremely effective. In battle, he rode a T-Rex and swung a deadly steel trap made from his predecessor. His innovative use of the tactic Minotaur release is still studied today. Under Xull, the Iron Legion grew rich and powerful. Recruiting was simple. He placed a generous bounty on his own head. Anyone fearless enough to attempt to claim it, and tough enough to survive the resulting beatdown, would be offered their own lives as the Legion's signing bonus. His physical strength was legendary, and he would fight any challenger for any stakes. He only ever lost once, and he honored that wager, switching sides in the Undead Wars despite being certain she must have somehow cheated. In Brawlhalla, Xull knows he should always lead. He challenged Kor for leadership of the Golem Underground, he challenged Thor for leadership of Thursday, he challenged Scarlet for leadership of the Valhalla Ladies Book Club. At Ragnarok, he will lead a great army, and it makes little difference to him what side that army is. So, he is a leader. He leads the Iron Legion, and he, as we see, he tries to lead various things in Valhalla. In this Minotaur release comment here, we see that that's sort of a connection to how the Iron Legion Taros. Maybe he used him in battle. In the Undead Wars, that is mentioned in Nyx and Azal's lore, and I'm not really sure who this she is, so maybe it is in some lore, or it will be future. One thing I wanted to look at was, I noticed on this skin he has these 3 red spikes on his axe, and it's sort of like bandaged up. So if we go look at the Orc Jala skin, the Orc Raider Jala, we have this sort of wrapping here and a similar spikeage. So maybe they took inspiration for him. They were designing this skin, or maybe they designed him a while ago and used him as inspiration for this orc skin. Who knows? BMG knows, and maybe if they make a comment on it in the press or in the dev streams, we'll know too. So let's take a look at how he plays in training, but first we'll look at some of his skins and colors. This is his standard skin, and here are his colors. I'm not really happy with how colors were done for this character, but maybe in future skins they'll be done better. This is Demon Ogre Xull, who is the second Demon Ogre skin we have after Demon Ogre Koji. Here are his colors. This, I think, has one of the better color sets. This one also has better color sets. This is Arctic Trapper Xull. Here are his skins, or his colors, rather. Sort of like these, I wish they would have done, like, red eyes here, maybe, and maybe, like, a lighter white here, but besides that, I think they're okay. Commander Xull, here are his colors. And then we have, actually, that's the last skin, and I'm going to use this one for the testing, because if you look here on the community color, it's sort of different than other community colors. It's got a less brown and orange in it, and it sort of has this green on the chest, which I think is cool, but I wasn't really happy with how the black worked. The shading here is a little too dark, and I don't really think it looks well. It sort of looks like they rushed this character's colors. Maybe they'll fix it later, maybe they won't, but I'm going to use community colors for this one. So that's that. We're gonna go on to Shipwrecked here and take a look at some of his Sigs, and we're gonna take a look at his strings that he has to offer. So he's a pretty well-rounded character, except for that 9 force, so he's a mid-tier character, and he's pretty quick. I've noticed his attacks hit off pretty quick, but most of them have different effects. So in his axe, he has his down sig that he sends out a claw. In his neutral sig, he sweeps up and hits, and in his side sig, he runs and grabs. We'll take a look at that on the character here. So there was that. He sends out his claw, grabs them, brings them towards him, and hits them again. In his side sig, we'll take a look at here. He grabs them, turns them around, and hits them again. Look at that frame by frame here. And now we have his neutral sig, which I will try and get. Nope. Okay, I'm dead. Yep. Okay, that just happened. Let's ignore that real quick. Let me get another axe, and I can look at this attack in better detail. I'm gonna have to hit her first to get her farther in, and then I can do that, and then sweep up and get the hit off. So it's a more aerial attack, so it's going to be used for aerial combat more often. He just sweeps up and hits her again. This hitbox is rather large here, so it's going to have a large AoE, which is pretty nice. I like having large hitboxes on Sigs. There's not a lot of them. And yeah, that is his Sigs frame by frame. Let's take a look at his cannon Sigs. We have his side Sig, he rushes forward, down Sig. I really like his cannon because a lot of them have different inputs for how far the range of these weapons go. So if you let go of it when it has 2, it'll have 2. Let go of it right away, it only does 1, but if you hold it, it does 3. I'll do this frame by frame real quick so you can see it better. There's sort of gaps in the center of this Sig, so I'm not sure if characters will be able to get past it if they're in the center of that, but I doubt it. The character models seem too wide for that. So his side Sig charges, down Sig, and his neutral Sig is sort of cool because if you just release it, it only goes aerial, but if you send it down to the ground, it will grab someone on the floor. So we'll look at all of those here. The side Sig, right there. He just has a smaller hitbox on the edge of the cannon that launches the character forward. His neutral Sig we'll take a look at. We'll look at both the aerial and non-aerial variant. So he will just, if it doesn't hit aerial first, it will go down to the ground, and if you hold it, it works similar to one of Cross's Sigs, and he launches them into the cannon, and it does damage like that. If we do an aerial attack, if I can hit this off right, that's what it looks like aerial. And then we'll look at his down Sig. So here is his down Sig. Sort of just sends a cannon blast through the ground and it comes back up. I'm not really sure how that works, but it works somehow. So as far as strings go, he has 2 cannon strings and 1 axe string. We'll start off with the axe string. It is N-Light, dash, and then a down Sig. So we'll take a look at that here. and light dash and then down sig. Take a look at that frame by frame real quick. I'm pretty sure it has 16 dodge frames if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if I have... Do I have dodge frames on? Player settings and stun is on, yeah. So, I'm not sure if it's going to show it. It might not show it in this frame by frame. Let's look at it real quick. That's not what I'm trying to do. Dodge window 22. So 22 frames to dodge out of that. I'm sure you can get it quicker, but it might just be base 16. I don't remember what Dom said it was. We can take a look at his other two strings that we have right now. We have a side light to a down sig, so right there, and depending on how quick you hit it off, you can also get that, depending on how high they are in the air. But the side light down sig hits, and you can get the the dodge window fairly low on that. If we take a look at his second one, it is a near ground sair and then a dash to a turnaround side sig. But you're doing a sair, which will hit him this way, and then you dash through, turn around, and sig, and that can be dodge red, so it can be gotten out of much easier than the other two, and it's a harder move to hit. But we'll move on from that. So just a little bit of gameplay I'll throw in here. You can get a lot of cool hits off with his weapons, as cannon is just a very light used weapon, so that's sort of interesting, especially with the combinations of his Sigs. You can get a lot of interesting hits off. Also, I really like Axe. I think there needs to be more Axe Legends in the game. I think it's a very used weapon, but it's with this character and the cannon, I feel like we will have a very interesting character to use. I'm not sure how the 9 force balances out with all of his other stats, but I'll figure that out in gameplay. As of now, that is the character. If you want to learn more about him, you can read up on him yourself in the lore, and you can play with him more, as well as check out the dev streams that they put out so you can learn more about him. But that's it for now. I'm Switchley, and thank you so much for watching. All info about me will be in the description, as well as anything else Dom decides to add. But thank you for tuning in, and that was this legend review.